Hey guys, FilthyRobot here, back with the Arumba, continuing our EU4 campaign. We just spent all of our gold, set up all of our infrastructure coming in. We have more reinforcements, and we're going to dive into it, right?
Yeah. So there's two quick topics that I want to talk about that have come up between episodes. You had a little break. We had a little break between episodes, and I had some time to look around the map and think about things to talk about, right?
Okay.
So one of the reasons why I want to just specifically address why we built 2 infantry instead of building up to our force limit. Because we could have done it different, right? We could have gone fewer on ships, and we could have maxed out the land force limit first,
Okay.
for example.
I thought you did. I thought you said that was based on the fact that the ships make us money.
Yes, that's a big part of it.
Okay.
I feel like ships, if you have the capacity, if you're not an inland nation, meaning you have access to water, ships are very high priority for me because they usually cause you to make more money,
Okay.
which is a great thing. It's like building a much better version of a building that earns you a better return on investment faster than most buildings in the game can. However, there's another reason. Number one is that land units cost a lot more in maintenance. And number two, the principal reason why I was motivated to train any troops at all right now, I don't feel like we need more men right this second to win our war with Tyrone, or sorry, not Tyrone, with Sligo.
Okay.
But notice our manpower. Top left-hand corner, directly to the right, top left-hand corner, directly to the right of the money.
Yeah.
We have 15,298 manpower. We literally just started these infantry, so I'm going to cancel them real quick. And we get the manpower back. If your troops are less than 10% complete, you get a full refund.
Okay.
So we have 17,298 manpower, and our cap is 17,299.
Oh, so we'd be wasting basically manpower per
Yeah.
whatever unit time if we don't spend some of this.
We're wasting a resource, which is our recovery rate.
Yep.
And that's the reason why I wanted to train some men, but not up to the force limit. And I didn't mention that before, and I thought it was worth addressing.
Yep.
That we need this resource to be working for us. Every month that it's not recovering is a month that you could have been getting 130 manpower. So at the very least, we should train one, but I wanted to train two. This is all happening behind the scenes, right? In my head, like, we should train some men because we're close to our manpower cap. But I didn't think about it because I'm so used to doing it that, two is a good number because it means that we've got, 24 months or so until we hit the cap again.
Yep.
And I'm likely to address it or think about it again between now and then. So
Cool.
one other factor I wanted to mention is that since we're considering going to war before our cores are complete, it's very important to know that if you declare war on a nation, and that nation has a core on the land that you are trying to core, you will not get progress on your cores.
Until the war's over?
Yes. If you are at war with any nation that has lands that share a core with you, like, for example, if Sligo somehow had a core on Tyrone, they had conquered it first, and we conquered it from them, and then we somehow ended up with Sligo again.
Tell me how do I take a look at their types of claims then? So I select them and then do what?
You don't have to have anyone selected. Press the E key to go to your diplomatic map mode, and then left click on any nation that you want to see from their perspective. So Sligo has claims on Connaught and on
I'm sure
Limerick.
I'm getting okay, I see. So they do not have claims. If they had claims on Tyrone though, that would screw up our coring as we fight them.
Not claims. They would have to have a core on Tyrone.
Okay. That's what I was trying to get
again,
cleared.
this isn't going to happen. I just wanted to mention it because it's one of those new player traps you can fall into where it's like, okay, everything's looking good. I'm coring my lands, and okay, I'm gonna go declare this war. And then you find out that all of the cores you were expecting to finish between now and when you end your war couldn't progress, and so now you're at 100% overextension waiting for your cores, and you can't take any new land because they're still not done.
Got it.
So we want to avoid that issue for players by just mentioning that core progress doesn't happen if you're at war with someone who has a core on that land. So anyway, we're waiting till May.
Okay.
May, remember, if you remember correctly, was the month we're going to raise maintenance because it's going to time us properly with the war with Sligo.
Got it.
Okay. And also, you wanted me to remind you or mention again, I'm very annoyed right now that we don't have power projection. And I think that the reason we don't is because we supported the Lawlord heretics rather than separatists. And I'm like 90% sure in my head right now that we would have power projection from supporting rebels if we had supported separatists. But Paradox, in their infinite wisdom, has just screwed us, and it doesn't work for non-separatist rebels, which is just horseshit. Damn it, Paradox, fix your shit.
You think that's the distinction is separatist versus non-separatist rebels?
I really do, yes, because I have literally just done this in the last couple of hours before we played today. Ooh, this is really, really good. Oh, this is so good. Okay, let me finish my thought and then we'll address these pop-ups. I'm like 90% sure I've played in the last couple hours and gotten power projection from supporting rebels, and we don't have it yet. So either it's going to happen when the rebels fire, or it's just bullshit, and we're not going to get it ever.
And
Even
how
though
can I
we spent
check when the rebels fire again? I go click over support rebels. They're still only at 70% still.
Yep. So every single month, they have a chance of advancing towards rebellion. And in fact, we can actually look at our own interface for this. And let's just put all these dialogues that have just popped up off to the side. Just click on them and drag them off to the side so that they're not in the way, and we can look at some other stuff. As long as the game's unpaused, you can leave dialogues open. It doesn't matter. We'll come back to them in a second.
All right.
This is really exciting, though. I can't wait to talk about those. But we got to talk about this Rebels thing a little bit first.
Okay.
So F1-9. We're back to our stability and expansion tab again, where we saw overextension and war exhaustion. Now at the bottom, you can actually see we have rebels building up too. We've got Leinster separatists and Tyrone separatists.
Okay.
These are people who want to go back to that other country. They don't like us.
Yeah.
Because of the fact we have positive unrest in these provinces, we are building up a progress towards a rebellion. Hover over where it says Leinster separatists. It says 1 is the number of provinces that are causing the overextension. 10K is the size the rebellion would be if they were to fire. Yeah,
it's like really bigger than their initial army.
Yeah, I know. It's one of the weird mechanics about this game. But don't get me started. Rebels, they have infinite manpower. Sometimes you wonder where the hell all these people came from, but it doesn't matter. It's just part of the game. But
can we just like exterminate the people of Tyrone to like prevent this?
Yes, kind of. So hover over where it says 0%.
Okay.
Progress until next uprising. Yeah. When progress reaches 100%, the faction will revolt and cause a couple, haha, funny paradox. A couple of rebel armies will spawn. The faction has a 10.2% chance of increasing progress by 10% each month due to how much unrest is in these provinces.
I wanted to take a moment to point out the disparity in that tooltip, by the way. You were laughing at couple, but I think couple is particularly hilarious here in response to the fact that the next line is the faction has a 10.2% chance of increasing the progress. Really, you're going to give me a term as couple as one of the numbers in this sentence, and the next sentence you're specifying out to the decimal places on this? That is hilarious. That's hilarious. Yep. Anyway, sorry, go on. Didn't mean to interrupt. Just was laughing at that.
If I could redo this tooltip, I would actually. It'd be very easy for Paradox to just pull this other 10K figure and say, the faction will revolt and 10K troops will spawn, because we know the number. This knowing what the number is wasn't always in the game. Okay. They've added this, right? It's like what's the term for it? It's like Pudge from Dota. This game has had so much stuff added to it over the last 3 years that. It's a fantastic game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not good. It's just, it's sort of understandable that some of this is not very clear.
Gotcha.
So, real quick, the faction has a 10.2% chance of increasing due to unrest. Notice how we have 11.5 unrest in the province.
Yeah.
At one point, when they first addressed it and changed it to the system, it was a fixed relationship. 11.5 unrest in a province would give an 11.5% chance to rebel.
Yeah.
They didn't like how that worked out because that was too predictable, and because it made it so that provinces that were very, very low but still positive would basically never rebel, because it was like a 2% chance or 3% chance. So they made it so there's like a kind of a multiplier. It's a hidden multiplier. Numbers that are very close to 0 but still positive are going to cause more pressure towards rebellion, and big numbers have slightly less pressure, which is why 11.5 gets reduced down to 10.2.
Okay.
So long story short, though, the more unrest you have, the more often they're going to rebel. Pretty straightforward, right?
Okay. So this is 10% for advancing the progress. So it's not a 10% chance the rebellion happens. It's 10% chance that this bar gets more filled, the rebels break country bar or something?
Nope, that's a completely separate mechanic.
Oh, okay, great.
Right now they are at 0% progress. There is a 10.2% chance on the very next monthly tick that their progress will get increased to 10%.
Okay.
If it's at 10%, it would go to 20%, then 30%,
got it.
up to 100.
And at some point, we're going to look at this and go, oh, they're at 50%. We need to do something.
Yep. Okay. So, and there's a dialogue, an alert that'll pop up saying rebels are about to fire when you get to 80%, which I hate. It should be at 90%, not 80%, but because this is the closest that it can be towards actually succeeding.
Okay.
But so think about it like this: we need to roll a 10-sided die and roll a 1 10 times, and this rebellion will fire.
Yeah.
Based on current revolt risk.
Which on a long enough period of time will happen.
Yeah, but if you hover over that number, you can actually see at this pace, the next revolt will be in about 8.1 years. So they actually tell you roughly, based on averages, how long it will be until the rebellion. So you can look at it and say, well, am I still going to have this issue in Leinster in 8.1 years? And in our case, no. In 8.1 years, the core will have been done. That was going to take like 33 months because we had the claim. So we're going to have that's going to be gone. We're going to have less war exhaustion because we're going to have ticking it down. Notice that's already down to 0.39. We're going to have the overextension will be gone because all the cores will be gone. The separatism, which is their desire to return to their previous tag, will have decreased over those 8.1 years at a rate of 0.5 every 1 year. So lots of things are going to reduce it. So it's pretty unlikely we're going to have any issue here.
Okay.
The whole reason we're taking the time to talk about this is you were asking, they're only at 70%. We were talking about England.
Mm-hmm.
So they are at 70%. Now that number should make more sense to you. They are at 70% towards an uprising. They were already at 70% before we supported them.
Yeah, so I assume the support means that they're the numbers they roll are going to be more likely to succeed in producing them from going from 70 to 70 to 80, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And so we know for sure that there are some provinces that were causing this to build in the first place. I really wish this interface was better and we could see specifically which provinces, how much percentage, how we got to the number. Why it's all obfuscated, I don't know, but it is. I feel like if you're giving these peasants money, they should at least tell you their battle plans, for Christ's sake.
Right.
You know, it makes sense to me, but whatever. I'm not going to complain about it because I get in trouble when I do.
Oh, look, we can see a rebel army, though. I thought they hadn't spawned.
Yeah, well, hold on. We're so close to being able to talk about it. One last thought. Specifically, when you support rebels, you give them a fixed increase of 10% chance per month of rebelling. So even if they were at like 1% chance, now they're at 11% chance.
Okay.
For the next 5 years. So that's 60 ticks, meaning that 60 ticks at 10% on its own is pretty guaranteed to fire. So they will fire. We're guaranteeing this rebellion will fire, and it will fire soon. That all being said, let's look at these events. We have a disaster that has just fired for England. This is a scripted disaster that will happen to only England called the War of the Roses.
Okay.
This just sort of kind of reflects real life history. The War of the Roses was a real thing. You can go look it up on Wikipedia. And so they have a disaster that's going on right now. If you hover over where it says okay, this is the decision that they took. 6,613 manpower. They supported House Lancaster. And so until 1458, it gives the following effects. Local unrest plus 10. And they have 26 pretender regiments rise up in
26, it's so many. All right.
Did I say 26 or 27? I felt like I said 27 as I said it, but then...
It says 26 over it when I look over it.
So it's a huge freaking rebellion. And that's awesome.
So these are rebels, but these are not the rebels that we were supporting. There could be another rebels coming up shortly. Got it.
And that's what we're really looking forward to, is having multiple rebels at the same time, because the rebels will not be hostile to each other. They will just, well, actually, in this case, they might be hostile to each other. I can't remember. But they're going to have separate goals. They're going to work towards separate things. He's going to have just tons of rebels in his country, which is awesome for us.
Okay.
So it is May 1st, which is our cue to raise maintenance.
Okay.
So I'll just take it all the
way.
How
did you pause, by the way? I tried to click the pause button and it said you paused, but maybe you just got there first. But
it's a thing where I'm the host, and so you can't unpause when I pause.
Okay, got it.
I'm stronger than you are. It's like I'm in the driver's seat and I get the real steering wheel and you don't.
And I'm going to be spending money on whatever I want in a minute. We're going to be getting ice cream for everyone in Scotland in a minute. So,
are you going to raise the maintenance, or do you want me to?
Let's do it. I should get in the habit of it. So I'm going to dismiss both these tooltips I got from England.
Yep. Go ahead.
There was another one. There was a pop-up about something about like a king or a change or something. So didn't really read it.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Oh, was it an actual event?
I don't know.
I didn't see
No. It wasn't an event. It was a just one of the pop-ups like you were getting.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that. It wasn't like the special event with the airs or anything like that. Okay, so I want to go to F1. I want to go to our military tab, and no, I don't. I want to go to the economic tab, which is in 4. Okay, got it. And
nice.
Our army maintenance goes. We want to put it up to full.
Yes.
Okay. Done.
All right. Okay. One other alert has appeared. Well, actually, multiple have. We have disloyal estates. We have provincial unrest. We know about that. You can right-click on these to make them go away temporarily, and then the next time that the alert would not be there, so you'd have to have no provinces with unrest, and then you get another province with unrest, it will pop up again. So certain ones you kind of want to leave on all the time, because otherwise they'll never show up again. Like if you always have at least one province with provincial unrest, right-clicking it'll make it go away permanently.
Okay.
So let's just leave I'm going to leave those open. I usually do.
I got rid of one.
Corruption is growing is a very useful one to know. So overextension was increasing our corruption. If you hover over corruption next to our prestige at the very top banner, we're currently at 0.2 corruption. It's increasing by 0.10 every year due to overextension.
Wait, sorry, I missed where I'm looking for that. Oh, right there. I see it. The red crown. Okay. Bloody crown. All right.
Red crown. That actually looks like a bag with blood and gold to me.
I think that's a bleeding crown. But you might be right. You're probably right, actually.
No, I think it's a bag with blood and gold because it's corruption.
I'm seriously going to start buying ice cream for our troops.
Okay. So anyway, our corruption is going up because of our overextension. We can pay money in the economy tab to root it out. and we should do that. We don't want our economy to be growing. Sorry, our corruption to be growing. If your corruption is growing, then you can't get the good corruption events that can fire. So we want to root out corruption to offset the growth. To do that, you see the slider right above army maintenance for root out corruption?
Yes, I do.
Just make sure you click that like 11 or 12 times to the right, or roughly 10% of the bar filled.
So what is the number I'm trying to get here? I'm trying to get rid of the minus. So we're currently getting. Oh, I see. So we're currently getting minus 11. So I want to get it minus 11 too. I want to
just move it until it's 0 or not going up. This is a direct sliding scale, so it's not like it's more efficient for the first few clicks and less efficient for the last clicks or something. It's just we want to pay enough money to offset our corruption so that we're not seeing it grow.
Okay, so now I'm paying enough that it says corruption changes by -0 every year.
Yep, and I would even, just for safety, I would go 1 extra just so that it's negative.
Oh, you did 1 extra. I see you changing it on me. Got it.
I like it to trend down because that way in just a couple months it's actually going to be at 0 and we won't be spending anything. So,
okay.
So we're spending 0.49 ducats on that per month.
Our monthly balance is going to go negative really soon here.
Yep, but the key thing here, hover over where it says Army Maintenance, the actual number itself, 7.26.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that we're paying 3.48 ducats in reinforcement. Once the armies have reinforced, that will go away.
Still going to be pretty negative, though. We're still -2 per turn. So it depends, even if we're 2 per month. So if our... All right, well, I guess months have a little bit of time. How long before our armies will be fully reinforced?
Well, if you select the army, you can see their status. Notice how most of them are about, they're above 800 troops apiece.
Yeah.
Lowest army is like 855.
Yeah.
And they can recover at 10 per month. Sorry, 10%, so 100 troops per month. So in 2 months, they'll be fully reinforced. All of them.
Okay, in 2 months, we're going to be at about, so we're going to lose 11. So we're going to be at 11, and then it's going to switch down to about 2 per turn. So we're going to have a couple 5 months after that. All right, so we got about 7 months before we need to be worried here.
Yep, we'll be okay.
All right.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. We'll be all right.
Okay. Good, let's go plunder. So now we got to let our morale ramp up.
Okay, we still have our fort off. We're trying to save some of that money.
Okay.
We are...
Is it going to turn it on again when we declare war? It is, isn't it?
No, we turned that off. We have our 2 new troops. Let's go ahead and rally them over to the other army.
Okay, how do we do that?
I should have let you do it, sorry. Grab both of the armies. You can do a box select like you're playing an RTS or something. Grab 2 armies at once. Right-click on Tyrone.
Okay.
Notice how we're now only losing... okay, pause it for a second. We're only losing 3.74 ducats now because some of the reinforcement is complete.
Okay.
So some of the armies that already had 1,000, they had like 900 something. They are now at 1,000. They're no longer reinforcing.
Cool.
England has just broken their alliance with Provence. Did you see that pop up?
I do. See it.
And I'm very curious to see why. Because they didn't dishonor a call. They just chose to break their alliance with Provence. And I'm wondering why that is.
How do we find that out?
Well, usually it's due to trust or due to their opinion. Let's go ahead and press the T key. That's the opinion map mode.
Okay.
Left click on England.
Okay.
Now we can see other nations' opinion of England. Okay.
Provincial attitude towards England, ally.
Click on Provence.
Okay.
Like select it from their perspective now and hover over England. English opinion of Provence is still 75.
Still ally too.
They still have a royal marriage. Why did they break their alliance? That is very curious.
Could be anything to do with this event that's going on?
No, I don't think so. It shouldn't have been. They still have ally attitude toward each other. I don't understand why they broke their alliance.
Holy
it's not
shit.
due to war.
There's wine in Provence.
Yeah. Well, naturally, right?
Yeah, but
I don't know. I don't know why they did it. It doesn't make sense to me. But the English pretenders, let's size up the English army real quick. Let's go to the ledger again. Press L.
Okay.
Press the F3 key.
Okay.
Then we've got a list of all the nations in the world. Let's go down to England.
We get to see all their armies?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Totally. We can see that England has 27,000 troops.
Yeah.
So he's got 27,000 troops, and that rebellion is 25,000. So that rebellion is basically the same size as his entire army. He's gonna have a very hard time dealing with that. If he were to smash his army into that 26 stack roughly, he would lose half of his men. Like he's gonna lose so many troops, and then hopefully our rebellion will fire, and rip him apart. At the very least, I'm expecting France is gonna declare war on England soon.
If he can I pause? How do I pause?
Just click on the top right corner.
It says pause by Arumba when I do that. It's annoying.
Well, I just did it because you said, "Can I pause?" So I responded.
Okay.
Do you want it? Here, I'll let you do it. You do it. Go. There you go.
Oh my god, it's great. It's just literally because I've tried to try that 2 or 3 times now. And it's always said you, so we've been like reaching for it at the same time. That's interesting. So I got a Herald rather from Munster over here.
Yeah.
That's kind of close to us. My kind of rule of thumb for this has been so far when pop-ups occur, every time I click go to, if it's far away, I've been ignoring it. This one is not so far away. So I wanted to just look at that and see if there's anything that we cared about over here. Because it is war between 2 nations that are not that far away from us.
Munster is fighting against East Frisia. The key thing here, the reason why this usually happens, is on the map modes, bottom right-hand corner, the little boxes. This is not one we've keybound because you don't use it very often. Go to the political map modes.
Mm-hmm.
Select Imperial.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you see the little gray one in the top left area of all this color?
The gray one in the top, yes.
That's East Frisia. Notice how East Frisia is not inside the Empire.
Yeah.
Basically, since he's not inside the Empire, the Emperor isn't going to protect him from anybody, and he gets his butt kicked by almost everyone.
Okay.
So what's happening here is that Munster, who's adjacent to him, has decided to, rival him, fabricate a claim on him, and he's just going to go kick his butt.
Got it.
That's about it. It's not going to affect us in any way, but that's pretty much what caused it to happen.
Remind me, what's the hotkey to get back to our basic diplomatic screen? The one that I use for everything?
The one we spend almost all of our time on is going to be W.
W.
That is your political map mode.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, we have 15k troops hanging out over in our province of Tyrone. We are at 0.19 war exhaustion. We have 2 months to go until we can declare war and feel good about it. We are losing 2.99 ducats a month right now, so we've got 4 months until we actually hit the danger point.
Yeah.
However, one of the things I'm considering or expecting to see happen here is that our corruption is going to actually get all the way down to 0.
We can stop spending on that.
Stop spending on that. We're already not reinforcing. We could take a loan. We could debase currency. Could hope for a positive event. We don't actually. Here's the thing. I think we're going to be able to lower maintenance very, very soon because we're going to move our army into Sligo, kill his army, and then immediately take our maintenance back down to 0.
So you think we just play it close?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, here's where if we wanted to, we could have trained only 1 infantry instead of 2, and we would have an extra 10 ducats on hand to kind of tide us over.
So I was looking at the debased currency stuff a minute ago because that was on the economic tab over here.
Yep.
So, but I mean, that would be totally counterintuitive to what we're doing, though, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I've got a pop-up. Yeah, I got an event actually. National Epic.
Okay, so yeah, the reason why we don't really want to do debased currency is because you gain 2 corruption, and it's far, far more expensive to buy corruption down over time than it is to take this 54 ducats. We would spend way more than 54 to buy the corruption down.
That's why I was surprised you even offered it as an example of how we could make money because we had just spent money trying to root out corruption. Like, why were we gonna? Yeah.
I said we could.
Okay.
I didn't say it was a good idea, but it is there. There's only really one situation that I can imagine where debasing currency makes sense, and that's where you are super far ahead of time on technology, and you have other modifiers that are giving you corruption reduction by default. So you can basically utilize your corruption reduction as a financial income stream.
Well, I just now have something that we may want to consider here. I'm not sure because this event allows us to trade 10 administrative power. We'll lose 10 administrative power and we'll lose 7.16 ducats, which isn't that much, but it's quite a lot of our existing economy right now. And it will give us +1 yearly prestige.
For how long?
Until the 23rd of August, 1468.
So for 20 years, we get +1 prestige.
Yeah. For 7 gold and 10 administrative power.
We like prestige, remember?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this sounds like something that you're going to be quite interested in.
Yeah, I almost always take yearly epic. I would take it, even if we have to take a loan. Yeah.
Okay. Would we take a loan here, or would we? Okay.
Yep. Okay. Because we're going to spend 7 some ducats, and then next month with our army reinforcement, and then the month after, we're probably going to take a loan.
I'm clicking this right now. Bam.
Yep.
We have two ducats left. All right. So, what's the timing like on this episode?
This is the spot where we got to take a break.
Yeah. So we'll talk about loans next time, I guess.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
See you guys soon.